by the grace of God, things fall into place. And I always pull it. Last month was one of those months where like the skin of my teeth with everything that hit me, and I got through it.
Yeah, I need a bag, bruh. Send it through quickly. I'm making his dog like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, I told him I'ma hit it out of stands. I deserve another 100 bands.
Welcome to another episode of the Married Game Podcast. We are the voice you trust when it comes to lust, and we are who you hire when she lacks desire. And we've got a special guest today, Ryan Stewman in the house. Welcome, Ryan.
Man, I like that. That's a catchy intro.
Thanks, bro.
You know,
That's what we do around here.
You're like full of rhyme, and since I've just been here, you're like a podcast rapper. You got it going on, man.
Yeah,
I like
man.
it. It's easy to remember stuff, though.
Yeah, man.
You know, without
Yeah.
trust, there is no lust. Like I love shit like that.
Yeah, man. When the trust goes up, the lust goes up.
Yeah.
You know, we have a fun history, but not a lengthy one or extensive one. But we have spoken on the same stage.
Yeah.
I just got done speaking at your office for the RBO Live, but my favorite memory of ours is us doing stand-up comedy together.
You know,
in Fort Worth.
We did. That was a good time. And when I was leaving there was a very tall, handsome gentleman, and I believe his wife was with him, and Amy was with me and my wife. And we were leaving, and he introduced himself, and he's like, "You were hilarious." And I had no idea who he was, and he didn't know me from the internet world. He was just saying that it was funny or whatever.
Yeah.
And turns out that's Matt Sapal. I don't know if you know who he is, but I getting his number. He just seemed like a cool guy. I ended up getting his number. He's Patrick Bet-David's #1 salesperson.
Really?
And he just spoke at our office like maybe the week before you were there. So it's like, I met that guy at that comedy show just on the way out. And it's like, you know.
Well, dude,
Now we're good friends. I got his kids in my kids' private school. We go to
Really?
church together. Yeah, all
What a
from
trip,
a meeting
dude.
at that comedy club.
Well, you
that
must have
night.
crushed because he didn't come up and tell me I did a good job. I remember when I did my, what was the joke, the black guy who peed on kids?
R. Kelly.
Yeah. I'm like, R. Kelly. I was my funniest R. Kelly joke I ever wrote. And I remember right in the halfway, you're like, oh, I'm like, hold on. So
I'm not done.
I'm not done. This is here. So, dude, you've written 13 books. You've built businesses. You are known as the hardcore closer online. I want to go a little different angle because we have a ton of guys that watch. It's almost like 80% dudes that watch our show.
Awesome. I love it. I'm a dude's dude.
Yeah, we can say anything. If you want to talk about squirting, we can talk about squirting. If we want to talk about anything, we can talk about anything. But, dude, as a successful businessman, and you've been up and down probably like every entrepreneur, but, dude, you've also been married a couple times, and it seems like you and Amy, who I got to meet at the comedy club, you guys seem to get along really well. And I want to dive into a little bit of that and why that is and what lessons you learned from your last marriages and what you've learned from this marriage and that type of stuff. You cool to go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So my first question is this. You've been married a couple times. What was the biggest lessons you've learned through that? I've been married a couple times.
Times ass. I'm on wife number 4, y'all. But my life was not, just to like set the record straight, my life was not simple. Some of that's due to going to prison and so I have never cheated on a wife or done any of the things that typically would get a divorce. I have been a victim of divorces. I'm a committed motherfucker. Like I'm consistent and committed to anything, you know. But there was one point that, you know, I'm 3 wives into this, and I'm not divorced from wife 3 yet. Mm-hmm. And it was a guy that I met through Garrett J. White here that had me do an exercise. Dude's name was Christopher Stubbs. I don't know if you know him or not. Mm-hmm. Really cool dude. He's out of Utah. He had me do this exercise where he's like, listen, write down the perfect woman. Like if you just could design like weird science, the perfect woman, what would she be? What would her hobbies be? What would the life be like? What would this? So I took a piece of paper, or no, it was actually an Evernote or something like that, wrote this long, lengthy thing. And so next week I show up with my homework to the coach, you know, and he goes, okay, now give it to your wife.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool because I'm thinking that could be her. You know, like she could say, hey, I want to be this woman. Yeah. Right? And now at this time, I got to remember, wife number 3 married me when I was a loan officer. I wore khaki pants. I dressed like Jake from State Farm and had a $400,000 a year W-2 job, you know. And then Dodd-Frank happened in 2010. I lost my ability to do that because I'm a felon. And so I went from, having it going on in the work world to like, hey, figure out a business to start it by yourself with no really capital and no experience. Because I don't care who you are. Typically, people would say, oh, well, you were making $300,000 a year. That's like $180,000 after taxes. Okay. And then if you have a $3,000-$4,000 mortgage payment, a couple $1,000s in entertainment every month, and kid payments it adds up really quick,
Yeah.
And to where I didn't have a massive amount saved where I got millions of dollars of capital to start anything. So she wasn't down with that, and so when I presented this perfect woman to her, she divorced me the next day. Within the next month, Sean Whalen and I were in South Dallas looking at real estate. And when we came back one night, my whole house was empty. And Sean looks around and he goes, shit, I guess you ain't doing nothing tonight. You want to go to the bar? So that's what we did,
Oh, shit.
But I still had this document. So here's the cool thing about being a human. When you figure out what you want and you focus on it, you get it. And it's just simple. You drive a black Jeep. Yeah. And probably when you bought that, you're like, man, I don't hardly see these. Mine's going to be unique. And now you probably see black Jeeps everywhere you look, dude. It doesn't matter if you have a Ferrari or you have your own private jet. And all of a sudden you're like, dude, there's citations at every one of these airports. It doesn't matter. That's just like, that's because we're focused on seeing them. Now I got something to focus on. So I start dating. I'm on Tinder, this is 2014, and so I'm going on dates, and the whole time I'm like looking for this person because I just want to be married. I don't want to grow. I don't want to wait till I'm like 60 and I didn't lock somebody down, and maybe I don't have money, so now I'm like old and lonely. That's a big fear for me, know.
Yeah, dude.
And so I ran into my wife because I needed a date in Arizona. For a TV show that we were shooting with Josh Altman, the $1 Million Listing guy. And I hit up a bunch of chicks, and not a lot of people swipe right on me, but I hit up a bunch of chicks, and a few of them were there. One of them came in, and she was barefoot in the club, and I was like, we're at this like bar, really nice bar, and she like walks in with no shoes on. It's like, what? She's really cute too. It's like, hey, you don't have any shoes on. She's like, yeah, I know the cops kicked in the front door of my house. I ran out the back and just came here. You had already texted me on Tinder. I didn't expect that. I said, get the fuck away from me. Like, I'm already a felon. I don't need aiding and abetting added to my shit. This is the kind of life that I'm living.
Yeah, this is hilarious.
So I'm leaving I'm leaving Arizona, and Amy texts me through Tinder. She's like, hey, just here's my phone number. I don't really like doing this stuff, so call me or whatever. So I called her. And then when I came back a month later to do the second part of the show with Garrett, actually, Garrett J. White was there for that. Strangely enough, that's how long ago it's been. He was there, and this was the last time I saw him. And Amy met me out in front of the theater. And then, after we were probably dating for a couple months, going back and forth from Dallas to Arizona, I handed her, maybe it's been about 3 or 4 months, I handed her the note that I had written. And she goes, oh, you wrote this about me? That's awesome. And I was like, no, I wrote this like almost a year ago. And you think you're that person. I think you're that person too. So, it wasn't like we instantly got married. It would be till 2017 when we got married. So it would still be a few years later, but that was like, I knew what I was looking for. Therefore, I wasn't willing to settle. In the past, I didn't know what the hell I wanted. So it's like it's like the company ladder. It's like we hold hands and we first base, second base, third base. Yeah. Now we're fucking. Now we live together. The next logical thing to do is to get married and then have kids. That's like the company corporate ladder of life that you're climbing. Dude. I sometimes climb up and down that ladder. Sure. So it was a little difficult before, but. Now we've been together for 9 years. We have 4 kids, 2 together. I have one from a previous marriage, and then I adopted hers from a previous relationship. Wow. So all 4 of them have my last name, and we work together. And man, if I was to model a marriage, and Cade's around a lot, he sees everything. If I was modeled a marriage, ours would be one I would want to model, and that's what we're trying to be anyway. We're trying to be examples of what's possible.
That's so cool. That's exactly how Jesse and I look at it. I'm like, if I find a couple that's more happily married than me, then I'll listen. Until then, I got it.
Yep.
Okay. So
happily married doesn't mean that we don't argue, or we are just like imperfect. We're in perfect harmony, but it doesn't mean that we don't have feelings or emotions or feel disrespected or unappreciated. Yeah. We're just humans, But the way that we deal with them is really, really good. So
what is your guys' model for? You guys get fired up, angry, upset. How do you guys come back? Who usually says sorry first?
100% me.
Dude, that's me too.
100% me. My wife will not say sorry.
Same.
So Pastor Keith, my pastor in Frisco, Keith Kraft, he says, if you want to have a good marriage, you're going to have to learn to give up your right to be right.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather be in love and have my wife than need her to know that I'm right. She already knows I'm fucking right anyway.
Exactly.
That's why she won't apologize.
Yes,
But
exactly.
then to me, it's like even me saying I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it goes like, you already know I'm right. And I'm still showing you I love you by
Yeah.
bending the knee to you. Like, that's...
You double right there. Yeah, that's amazing, man. So
we both know.
Yeah. Hey, we know.
We both
We
know, right? It's a gesture.
Yeah. Dude, it's so funny. Today, Jess and I got in a little bit of a really mad at each other, and that happens. You know what I mean? I like that because love and hate are a very fine line. Apathy is when you're in real fucking problem.
That's very true.
And so she slammed the door. She's pissed off at me. I have a view that she doesn't particularly agree with on this particular thing we're talking about. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, we'll talk about it in front of our wizard. That's our therapist that we talk to every Thursday. I'm like, well, you're not going to talk to me until Thursday? She goes, I'm not talking to you about that until Thursday. I'm like, okay, cool. Sounds good. So I got here to the man cave, and I'm like, listen, I don't think any of us needs to be sorry, but I'm going to be the first one to say, I have been feeling a little different these last couple of days, so that could be bleeding into this, and I want to apologize for that. And she's like, okay, thank you. I'm like, but you're still wrong, bitch. I didn't say that to her, but I know.
But they know.
She's fucking wrong. All right.
They're smart. Ladies are smart. They know.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think is what is the key to a great marriage, in your opinion, as a businessman? Because normally, most guys are business dudes. Not all of them, but most of them are. Because it's a different strain that we experience, making sure, we only make money because we made it happen.
Yeah. Amy and I were having a discussion about this the other day where she was pointing something out. I don't remember what it was. Was like, but if I don't do that, then we don't make money, right? And when we got married, it's in our prenup if we go pull it up. But when we got married, we said we were going to put money first. It was going to work like this. God, right, which is something that's not in this world, but God, then it's going to be money, and then us. Because if we don't get those things right, money, we can't fund the kids' private school. We can't live in this house. We can't drive these cars. We can't own this real estate. We can't run these businesses. Yeah. So anytime when we have to start thinking that we have to choose each other over money, that's stupid anyway. Because money's never going to make us choose. But we got to make sure that if I have to go on the road for a week, or if I have to go on the road for 2 weeks or 2 years or whatever it is, if we put the money first, we're going to be able to spend the rest of our lives the right way. So we put that agreement since I have been married 3 previous times. We did a prenup. It wasn't really about money, and especially back then, 7 or 8 years ago when we did this, I didn't have any damn money back then anyway. Nothing like compared to today. Shoot, I think if she left now, when we got married, she was getting the good end of the deal. If she left now, she'd be taking a pay cut, I'm pretty sure. And that would, to me, seem like very generous stuff back then, you know. But we also talked about how we would both remain fit. So we would be our best for ourselves and for each other and God. So there was other things outside of just money that we talked about in our prenup, because we just wanted it on paper that, hey, we were getting in. She's a business lady. She's Series 63 licensed, raised hundreds of millions of dollars for hedge funds. And her career comes from a family of, her dad was a hedge fund guy or still is. And so that was her thing. She grew up since she was 14 working in banks and in big offices like that. And so we looked at it as an operating agreement for our marriage. If I'll continue to go to the gym, I'm 44, it's 9 years later, it'd be easier for me to be fat right now. Actually, it's harder to look the way that I look now at 44 than it was 9 years ago at 35 when we met. I'm having to work. I got 2 damn trainers and working crazy schedules and taking a lot of supplements and everything. It's very expensive at our age to stay in shape.
When's your birthday?
October 79.
Oh, okay. I'm November 78.
Okay, yeah. So you're 45 this year.
Yeah, it does take a lot of needles and potions and all sorts of fun stuff, dude.
And if I don't drink a protein shake after I work out, my day is ruined, man. I'll be sore everywhere. My back hurts if I sleep on the wrong side. So there's lots that you have to do, testosterone, things like that you have to take as you get older, And she's 35 now, so it's the same for her. She's getting into that same age, but she's got a trainer. She works out. So we just keep our word on that. Like you and I were discussing earlier, having integrity, doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. So we have that. On top of that, since we established the money first principle in our relationship, and I know so many people going, oh, never fly with my wife. It's like, I get it. You know, I found me an Amy. That's what I needed, this person to have this personality that I was going to spend my life with. Yeah. But smart. What happens though, because of that, is we have this money first where if there's something needed to like, if I have to go handle business or whatever, then we put that first, you know, and because of that, that allows her to have an understanding for my business. So I said, hey, we're going to do this money first thing, but here's what I can promise you and the kids, promise you, right? Every week we'll do a date night, right? And so we call it the AARP special, Keith, because we go at like 5. Yeah. You know, a date night doesn't have to be something super. Like last week, we went and watched They Live at the movie theater, which is a 35-year-old movie that we went to the movie theater. We were literally the only 2 people in there because nobody knows what the hell that movie is. Right? It's a great movie, by the way. It's still good. Yeah. And it's more relevant today and makes more sense today than it did back then, obviously. Yeah. But, you know, that's just something like that. We went to a 6:15 movie. We're home by 8:30 and let the nanny go home for the evening. It's real simple. We do that once a week. And for the kids, same thing. I give them 1 day a week. So if usually it's on Saturday and we go to the ranch because Sunday we do church and everything else, right? Yeah. But having those routines, knowing that, oh, he might be gone for a week, but as soon as he gets back, we got date night. I know it. It's on his calendar. I see it on there. It's already booked to where we're going because my team does it for us every week. So my assistant, she finds us a new restaurant to go to or one of our favorite places, mixes it up, so both of us are surprised what we're going to do that week. So
that's cool.
Yep.
What else is some non-negotiables for you guys?
Well, obviously there's the infidelity thing. You know, we're not into other people or anything like that. So,
but is there like we're going to have sex? Do you guys schedule sex?
No, it's always spontaneous, but we're probably good for 3 times a week, to be honest with you.
That's great.
We have kids coming in and out though. Yeah. You know, we got to like lock the door. That's
why we love this stabbing cabin.
That's the signal in our house, right? If she comes in and locks the slide on the door, I'm like, that's a done deal. I already know there's only one reason to lock the kids out of this room, you know. Yeah.
Going to Pound Town.
And some nights I'm not at home. In this year it hasn't been as bad, but last year, you know, Kate and I were on the road like once a week. So there'd be a couple nights a week I wasn't home. And you know, it's one of those things where no, we don't schedule it. And we have cameras all over our house. So we're like very particular about just using the bedroom where there is no cameras either, you know, in case something happens or someone could hack or get footage. Yeah. So that's our only like taboo thing about that. So we don't use the rest of the house because there's cameras literally everywhere. So
got it.
One day our kids break into the camera reserve or the, I don't know, somehow we get hacked or something like that. Just, you know, privacy reasons. But, a non-negotiable
Kardashian with your sex tape.
Right. You know, there was a guy, I was speaking at the Muscles event, and I can't remember the dude's name, but there was a guy backstage, and he's like, name one person that's life didn't get better and make more money after a sex tape. And I was like, like I really couldn't name one.
You got a good point, my good sir. That's fucking hilarious, dude. Anything else that's like non-negotiable for like things that you're like, this is a habit that we establish?
Yeah, so the date night, the working out has to be
I love that you just laid that out, man. That's so brilliant.
Well, man, I've been having my heart broke 3 times. You know, it's like this. Listen, if we're gonna do this shit, this is exactly how it's got to go down. No ifs, ands, or buts. No leaving nothing up to curiosity because I done screwed these things up. Here's what I know. Yeah. This might be the world's greatest relationship, except for I'm in it. Yeah. And so I need to. I'm trying to put all the. Here's the beautiful thing about our relationship when she and I first met, like I said, Garrett was down there shooting that TV show with us, and she picked me. I've been talking to her for a month on the phone and texting and stuff. And then when she picked me up in front of there, she got to kind of see what I was up to anyway, but I was writing a book at that time. We were all writing books, like, because we were all in Kevin Nation's mastermind. So it was like Garrett and myself and everybody were writing our first books. You know, that was part of what we were doing. And so I'm writing the book, The Hardcore Closer is what it's called now. It's been out for a long time. It was the first book that I wrote. But I'm writing my life story in real time and telling her, hey, read this chapter. And I'm writing crazy shit in there because it's an exciting book. It's a fun book. 0 sales lessons in there. It's all like crazy prison stuff and drug dealing and crazy life that I was brought up in. I just need to get the shit off my chest, you know? And so she's reading this and I'm thinking, man, you know, if I found the perfect chick, like this little perfect person that I wrote, this perfect spouse that I wrote out, then she'll understand all this stuff. If not, she'll leave and I'll save myself a heartbreak down the road.
Brilliant.
And, you know, at the end of it, it's like there's no secret left from her because I wrote it all in that book.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, I just caught up on 35 years of this dude's life. And imagine that if you were going to go date a chick, right? Since this is mostly dudes, you're going to go date a chick and things get serious and she wrote an autobiography about herself, right? You can read it and go, she's crazy as shit, or wow, what an inspiring person, you know? And at least you know what you're getting into. She maybe talked about some of the things she did in the past, divorces in my case, and losing a license. And, you know, I'm not telling everybody to go write a book, but most people, if you ask them, they wish they would have written a book or they wish they could. And, you know, telling your life story, again, if nothing else, it's a really great business card for dating. Like, this is what you get into, lady.
That's hilarious. Dude, that's so funny you mentioned that, because I wrote a book called Becoming Great with Women, and it was my tales of these hundreds of women that I had slept with. And I gave it to Jesse. I said, here's what you're getting into. If you like this guy, you're going to like me.
You're going to be fine.
If you don't like this guy, you won't like me.
Yeah.
And she read, she goes, this was a little much. I didn't need to know all this about you, but well done, good sir. And we became buddies. Hey, so that's funny that we had that comment. I did not know that. Is your book writing process similar now as it was back then, or is it totally different?
It's been a couple years since I've
13
written
books
one.
is a lot of books, man.
You know, the thing, Keith, is I really wrote 3 books. I wrote The Hardcore Closer, The Example, and G-Code. Okay. The other ones I wrote them too, but I took out like old video recordings and old trainings that I did and then had them edited up and paid to make them into a lot of the books.
Yeah.
Our marketing books and sales books that we just created from our own trainings and stuff. So in the beginning, I typed 48,000 words myself for The Hardcore Closer, right? They think 36,000 ended up making it in there after the edits and cuts and everything.
Really?
Then the second, third, fourth, fifth book, I took audio, I discovered rev.com, right? And so I took audio and transcribed it and then sent it to an editor and then had them fix it up. And I created Sale and Scale. Fuck Your Excuses was a 6-week program that I sold for $199 where everybody got on a call and I trained them once a week. So I just transcribed that into a book. So, and then in 2019, I started writing the G-Code. I thought, man, everybody knows me as a sales guy. And my wife's always saying this too. She's like, everybody looks at you, or she doesn't say it so much anymore, but back then she's like, everybody looks at you as like the sales guy, but that's like, it's not really even who you are. It's like just the tip of you. It's this identity that you've had for a long time, but it's not who you are. You're very much more complex than that. Yeah. And one day I was just like, you know, I had lived by Kevin Nation's 4Fs and Garrett's Core 4 and been to a bunch of different landmark trainings and all these different things that have that. And I was like, man, I just want to create my own little system that's the best of everybody else's that I've watched in my opinion, right? Yeah. And just go similar to what you've got with your P's, you know, and go down the line here. And I'm just going to create my own thing. And I started this G-Code process, which is, you know, grateful mindset, your genetics, your grind, which is your business, and the group of people you spend time with. So it's 4 points a day that you can get. Right now, I've got 5,159 points, right? So I've been at this for a minute.
A minute.
You probably have 1,000 or so, huh?
I'm on 2,300.
Oh, 20. He said, no, I'm at 2,300.
Yeah, dude, that was last year, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
So, like all of our
Every day
employees
you
live
get
by it.
points.
This is one of our KPIs in our companies, you know.
Dude,
so.
one of the things that I loved about your G-Code book was you talked about staying focused, and it wasn't resistance. There was the law of
force of average.
The force of average.
So
That's so real, man.
It is.
It's so to this day. Do you still feel it?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's real.
Dude, it beat the
like fucking
shit out of
gravity.
me last month. Like
God.
the only thing I had going for me last month was a happy marriage. Everything else was falling apart. I mean,
Shit.
and I don't say that facetiously. I mean, you know, as an entrepreneur, sometimes you get like Mike Tyson sized blows that you don't expect, you know, and it doesn't have to be in the form of a mass exodus of clients or a mad customer or a supply cutoff. It can be an air conditioning bill for multiple 6 figures on top of a final bill from an event that you thought was already paid off for multiple 6 figures. So there's been times in my career, Keith, like I can count 4 at least for sure, where I've been hit with crippling size bills that would have put a small business just under, and somehow by the grace of God, literally not because I'm a hustler or anything, by the grace of God, things fall into place. And I always pull. Last month was one of those months where like the skin of my teeth with everything that hit me, and I got through it. And you know how it is as an entrepreneur. It's like, fuck, this is gonna be the end of me. Oh, I'm gonna die. This is how it all ends. It's been fun. Well, it's like, oh shit, I'm back. The next day you're like, oh fuck, it worked out. I'm still alive. He lived. You know,
that one-on-one client came through. Oh,
yeah,
God,
shit. Yeah, it's like something happens, you know?
Yeah.
And I had an investment deal last month that paid me off, thank God, that I had not even planned on getting, and it just like popped up out of the blue. I mean, I knew it was out there, but I didn't plan on getting it, and it covered the stuff that I needed to cover to keep me around. Dude, you have a building that size. Yeah. If some shit goes out, dude, it's $200,000-$300,000 for an AC, and I gotta buy one. Yeah. Like this year kicked every AC in Texas's ass. Yeah. You know, I mean, it was 110 for like 40 days in a row.
Well, you know what's interesting, dude? When you say this, I've known you from a distance for a while, and I've heard you talk like this a couple of times. And you said there was stuff that you had to pay, and I always pay my bills. And that resonated with me. Honestly, it's the thing I respect about you the most. From a distance. I don't know you like super
I appreciate
well,
that.
But from a distance, because I've had to bite some bullets, and tell me if this is your thought process, because this actually are some of the things I'm most proud of my life. First thing I'm most proud of is doing the Live Hard program for the entire year.
That's awesome.
That changed my life more than fucking anything has ever changed my life, ever. That guy, Andy, who created that, I think he's the fucking second coming to Jesus Christ. When I watch him high, I'm like convinced he's Jesus. Other than that, maybe not so
much. Have you ever met him?
I did.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
I gave him that box up there with the 75 heart on it.
Oh, yeah.
I made a box with these shaker cups in it. It says 75 on one cup, H on one cup, A on the other cup, R on the other cup, and D on the other cup, because that's how I did my gallon. I put a gallon, all 5 of those, and I said, hey, man, this just got me through. I made it for you. I wanted to give it to you.
That's cool.
And he's like, oh, cool, but I don't know if he liked it or not. But
he's a cool guy.
He seems, well, his bodyguard came to one of my stand-up shows.
DJ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came to the show. It was really fucking hilarious. But the process is,
I did 75 hard too.
Yeah.
Like it is a game changer, especially, you know, sorry to interrupt, but especially because, you know, you have to give up alcohol. So then you know you're not drinking, and you got to, like, that 2-day workout is a bitch. I mean, because you know at the end of the day, you're going to have to go, no matter how hard you work in the office, you still got at least 45 minutes of some sort of physical exercise, whether it's a ruck or your time in the gym. Anything. Like, dude, that's
fucking go, dude.
Yeah.
It did change my, it's what taught me you do what you say you're going to do when you say you do it without, like that became, I actually realized that if you just live by that one principle in your life, everything will fucking change. Yep. That one thing. But I've had some bills pop up and I'm like, I can pay this, but fuck, does that put me in a dangerous situation? And I knew it was the right thing to do. And I'm like, if you don't fucking do the right thing right here, you're a fucking fake. And you're not real, and you're full of shit. And and that gut check where you're like, pay it. And you fucking pay it, and you fucking pay it. Every time I've heard you talk like this, that same feeling came in my gut, and I go, I respect the fuck out of this guy. Because I felt like the way you describe it was how I described it when I had to pay it. So I just want you to know that one thing, when you share that story, sometimes people are like, I'm embarrassed that I went this. I go, bro, if you're an entrepreneur, dude, you've eaten dicks.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
You've done all of it.
But it doesn't, even at Bezos' size, you know, there's times where Amazon stock plummets. He was billions of dollars overnight. And then, you know, an account cuts off $1 billion in advertising. That happens to everybody. And even, and you think, oh, it's like rich people problems or whatever, man. Money is money. And you're always living on the level that you're at, because that's how you grow. You can't, people say, oh, I make $1 million a year. I live like I'm a 30,000. What the fuck do you want $1 million a year for?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
that's a good point.
Just to have it. Money sucks. Have you seen it? It's green, it's stinky, it fills up fucking safes. You got to put, like, you know, the silica packs in there to keep it from getting molded if you keep any of it. Like, money sucks, right? Yeah, like, dude. If it's not something just to have anyway. Yeah.
So that's deep respect for that, man.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah. It is important to me because, you know, when I went to prison, the police gave me, both times, they gave me an opportunity to snitch on somebody. They said, who do you get your drugs from? And I did not tell them because it's like, that guy didn't get in trouble. I got in trouble. Yeah. You know, and then I get to prison. I thought that's how the gangsters all talk this shit in the movies. And I get to prison. That's not how it is at all. Brother snitch on brother and blah, blah, blah. And that was what I first realized. Like, I'm different than these people, because I thought these were rules that you couldn't infringe on.
Yeah.
You know?
Like
And
the
then later
pirate's
on in the
code.
business world, how many times have you paid somebody for an investment or paid somebody who told you they were going to blow up your page or viral your videos or whatever, and then they're just like, oh, sorry, it didn't work for you. It worked for all those people I lied about it working for, but it didn't work for you. And I'm like, wow, man, where do all these people, like, and at first, like old Ryan was like, I'm from the streets. People get killed for 10 grand.
Yeah.
You know, these guys just took 10 grand in media ad money from me and didn't get a single lead and act like, oh, that's just business. Like, what the fuck you mean it's just business,
real,
you know? And then I start to realize that then the world is lacking people that care about their words. And most people, I saw a study one time, 2020, the TV show, and this is like maybe 20 years ago I saw it. I hadn't been in my 20s. And it was talking about the country that used the least amount of words, and it was Denmark. So the Danish people speak the least out of every, at this time, maybe it's changed now, right? But they're the least vocal because they came from the Germans trying to take them over during World War II, and they came from World War I stuff. So they've, you know, Europe's always been like this war-torn era, and they're an older country than America, obviously. And so they use very vague language too. And if you think about it, we do that here in America. Good is bad, bad is good. Yeah. You know, we like fire, lit. Nothing really means. There's like 10 meanings for every word we have here. It's so vague because then our subconscious can't figure out what the words we're actually speaking, what they actually mean, you know?
Oh, shit.
And so many people, they give their word and maybe they have the intention of keeping it good, but their word doesn't mean anything to them because they discredit the power of words. But here's the thing. If you want to become I know Andrew Tate and Jason Waller and these guys, or Justin Waller rather, they're always talking about, you know, being a man of value or a high value man and all this stuff. I believe if you want to be a person of value, male or female, you have to establish what does society find valuable, okay? Sure, money, but let's just take it off the table because if you do certain things, the money's going to come, right? And that's going to make you valuable because the money follows value, right? Yeah. So what does society find valuable? Does society find fat people valuable? No. So why would you want to be that? You know, nobody's running an ad for real recruiting big people. You know, nobody's recruiting, hey, you got bitch tits, we're your people. Come over here. That's not working, right? Yeah, exactly. That nobody's doing that except for maybe some weird fashion design that nobody cares about, nobody be caught dead wearing that looks decent, right? And so, you know, people being late to work, is that a valuable asset to have as a person? Not keeping your word, is that a valuable asset to have as a person? So people don't understand. That's why core values are so important, right? Like having some real serious core values that you know, the people around you know that you have these core values, and ours are their rise, their responsibility, integrity, service, and excellence. And we do, and this is all
right on your building.
All over the building, all over my house. I mean, all over my building, all over our office. My kids, we talk about it at the house. My wife knows them. Like everybody knows these things inside and out.
What are they again?
So responsibility, and we do the word and then the thought behind the word. So responsibility means we make no excuses, right? So many people, they say, I want to get rich. I want to make money. I want to have a great marriage. I want all these kids. I want to be a great father. That requires responsibility. And every excuse you make puts that responsibility on something or someone else as opposed to you learning that lesson and becoming a responsible person. If you'll have a no excuses, this is the thing about keeping your word. If you'll have a no excuses attitude and be a responsible person, more responsibility will be given to you. But most people, they don't understand responsibility. Like money is a responsibility because the more you have of it, the more you have to spend of it, the more you have to save of it, invest right, pay your taxes. It's a heavy load. That's why a lot of people get 10 million and they're broke in 4 or 5 years. If that, because they bought a $5 million house and $1 million worth of cars, and next thing you know, they don't even have enough money left over to pay the taxes on the things that they bought, right? And because it's responsible, they're just like, get rid of it. This is so much responsibility for me having $10 million in my bank account. And so and when someone makes excuses, they're passing that responsibility. So if I keep making excuses at work, me and you work together, he's my boss, and I'm always blaming you for everything. And then one day, guess what? You all of a sudden get a promotion. And I'm like, why did you pass me up? It's like, well, you gave him all the responsibility and he kept it. I gave it to you, but you used an excuse to give it to Keith. Now Keith's your boss. So integrity, we do what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. That's what got us into this in the first place. Service is going above and beyond to us. You know, being a servant.
Yeah.
You know, and this is in business and in life. You know, Ed Milet talks about one more rep. You know, that's the mindset that you know, when we have a company meeting, hey, did you go above and beyond today? When I talk to my kids at Family Huddle, something I'll tell you about later in the show, like I'm asking them, hey, what did you do today to go above and beyond at school? What did you do today to go above and beyond at home? And then excellence is we do the work, because nothing excellent came from laziness.
Yeah. Those beautiful principles, man.
And, you know, and they're easy to, and feel free to steal them. Take them, use them in your company, use them in your stuff. Like, I don't own these. They're just my adaptation of this. But, man, I've put a lot. I started with 32. Yeah. And then I wonder why my employees can't remember all of them. And my kids, why don't you know number 19? Yeah. You idiot. You know, it's like, sorry, dude. Yeah, exactly. We shortened them down to 4, an acronym, and now everybody knows. And so this is how we correct our children according to these. Hey, this was your responsibility. You didn't take it. This is your punishment for that. You know, you didn't keep your word. This is your punishment for that, right? This is how I correct employees. Hey, you know, you're not performing here. And as much as I like you, you know, our core value is that we don't make excuses. And this is 3 meetings in a row that you've given us an excuse. It's not me you got to worry about. It's everybody else, because they're not going to let you break the culture here, right? And so then I don't have to go, Keith, you lazy piece of shit. You know, I was like, hey, Keith, you're making excuses and you're not doing what you said you were going to do. So that's 50% of our things that we stand for here that you're not finding valuable. And it's a different conversation and an ability to correct people with logic and emotion, right? Because we care about people. I call my employees a family of choice. You know what I mean? Like, the Cade's my work son. We go everywhere together. You know, we've traveled literally one side of this country to back and forth several times together in 2 years. We've worked together for 2 years. So, you know, these are people I spend a lot of time and dedicate a lot of time to, as you can imagine, just like you know, in your business. So it's important that, you know, that was the big major thing for him getting the job, is here's our core values. You know, how does that make you feel? What do these mean to you? Yeah. You know, and that's one of the first things that we talk about in job interviews, is that because of our KPIs, accountability, and core values, you work here, you're going to become a better person.
How can you not be? If you fucking do that shit. That's so beautiful,
and life, business, entrepreneurship is a lifelong personal development program with a pay plan attached to it.
It sure is.
You know, and the better you get as a human being, the more money you make, the more sex you get, the better your marriage is, the better your health is. That's just how it works.
Amen, dude. Let me ask you this. First of all, that was brilliant and beautiful. We're gonna be able to pull a lot of really cool clips out of that. And people always say my word is my bond. I go, except 99% of people are fucking liars. They don't do what they say they're going to do.
They're lying to you. They're demonstrating the opposite of that when they say it a lot of times.
It's so true. And then the other guy goes, my family is my most important thing. And I go, when was the last time you invested in becoming a better family man? Like, did you put your money where your mouth is? When did you go on a marriage retreat? How did you become a better fucking husband? What did you do? I'm like, oh, I haven't. I go, well, then your family is your most important thing based on your dollars. So what you're saying resonates so fucking deep with that, dude. Tell me about the family.
My biggest investment is in my family. You know, it cost me, now that Harlan, I thought I snuck, so I got this bill for $78,000 for private school for the year, right? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot, but I got 4 kids, and they just found out that they didn't count one of my kids, so they sent me another $16,000 bill. So I'm close. I'm like 2 grades away from 6 figures a year into my family. So that's a huge investment. But I bought a ranch.
Oh, cool.
And last year in December, I went and bought a ranch. You're gonna love this story, man. This is like,
I fucking love ranches.
Me too, man. And I built a grown man's Chuck E. Cheese. You got to check it out, dude. I built a cool place. So
can you hunt on it and stuff?
Yes, dude. Like, man, right up the street, I got another ranch. Like, this is a great story, but I got elk on it. So.
Elk?
Yeah, so we were gonna buy. My wife and I are building this $5 to $7 million dream house.
Okay. This is the house forever,
this
right?
Is this is we're in. And we live in a $2 million house, maybe a little bit more than that now, right? Okay. This is a big step up, double and a half maybe what we're dealing with now. Interest rates start creeping up. I got a 2.8% rate on my house, so I'm like, my wife's wanting to build this dream house for $5 million. I'm like, my mortgage payment, because I don't owe $2 million on, it's like maybe $2,800 a month, right? Shit. And this new one, I start going over with my loan officer. He's like, well, interest rates are probably going to be 6.5% to 7.5%, which is bullshit. Now they're not even that low, And he's like, so your payment's gonna be $33,420 a month or something like that. And I'm like, man, $2,800 versus that's a big bite. That's a big bullet to bite. And you got to put 20% down on this. We're talking $1.5 million down. And I'm like, I got to figure out a way out of this, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't like to bite off more than I can chew.
Sure.
My office, I don't mind paying $50,000 a month for that because I can rent it out, make money from it. My house is my house. Like, there's no cash to be made from that thing other than maybe the Augusta rule or some shit, right?
Yeah, you got to figure something.
And so, but my wife, she don't think like that. She's like, this is the home I've always wanted. It's like, me too. We just not there yet. You know, we're going to, especially at the interest rates, we're just going to pay cash for the thing. And I don't have that expendable amount to just dump down on a house and keep moving right now. So that's not going to happen. Yeah. So I start hearing, you know, and this was like, let's say August, and I hadn't really told her that I didn't get this house and already got my money back, right? Yeah. And the house is going to take 3 years to build, so I got time anyway, right? Yeah. So, and that was the other scary part. How much is stuff going to cost in 3 years? I might have just bitten off it might end up being $8 million for all I know, because everybody goes over budget, you know? Always. And so one day I start really thinking like, man, Biden might get us into war. Right? Like, but whatever you feel about politics, like it's clear that needs to be a thought in the forefront of everybody's mind, right? Or evil, one of the two. I don't know which it is, right? But something's not right, and we might get in trouble. And I read this book, and I highly recommend all men read it. It's called 1 Second After, and it's a book about what happens if an EMP bomb goes off. You fucking think that you're just going to go roll up the street and kill a cow from the old neighborhood and everything's going to be good. The police have a fucking plan in place to shut down all lakes, all creeks, whether you own it on your private farm, whether like it will be a complete police state, and the military will occupy all bodies of water on your ranches and everything else you do. This is great. This book is the book the Congress built the playbook out of, right? Wow. And so a friend of mine that's from the military told me to read it. So first thing I did was I went and I EMP proof my truck, right? So like no matter what thing goes off, I got a truck that I can get around on a tank of gas somewhere in, right? Yeah. I got an old Ford pickup truck, right? So if that goes off, I don't have any electronic failure on it, doesn't matter, it runs without it. The second thing is I'm like, I got to get out of this house and go buy land. You know, if something happens, I just need me and my family to get somewhere where I can eat meat for a year, and then I can plant the next season and we figure it out, right? Yeah. So in Texas, an acre of land is about $16,000 or more. In any area, maybe 2 hours outside of us, right? Because you got to go a long ways to get in the country, kind of like you do here, you know? Yeah. And so in Oklahoma, I found some land for, you know, $1,500 an acre, $2,000 an acre, $5,000 acres. So I ended up going down there. I found this place that's 400 acres. I paid $2.5 million for it. So it's like $6,500 an acre or whatever it was. And the farmer, I went to go do the financing on it, and the bank wanted like 8% and 20% down. And I was like, look, I'm just going to give the farmer 20% down. I'm going to give you $500,000 cash. Carry this for 2 years at $25,000 a month, 0% interest, straight payments to this. And guess what? You can keep your 150 cows here. You can keep working the land. I'm not going to be here all the time anyway. I bought 7 acres more next to it and built a house on that land. So the ranchers basically run my whole ranch for free. I split the profits with them, and I got this thing at 0% interest. And at this point, I've had it for a year, so it's halfway paid off. Wow. And so next year it'll be paid off, right? And it doesn't make sense to pay it off early because it's at 0% interest, right? So next year it'll be paid off. The house is almost paid off as well. So by the end of 2024, by election season, I plan on having all of that paid off to where if something happens, we got a place to go. But in the meantime, you know, I got a bunch of ATVs, tractors. We got 14 lakes, deer, elk. You know, like hogs.
Fish in the lake?
Dude, huge fish. Like big old huge 10-pound bass, like all day, every day. They catch 20, 30-pound catfish out of there. They caught 105-pound catfish in the creek that runs through my property. Like, dude, we're in a very lush, it's full of food. That's why I bought it.
Chuck E. Cheese for real.
Oh, dude. And we got like Can-Am ATVs.
Oh,
so
dude, that's the shit.
It'd take you 2 hours to get across the whole thing to like actually go check out the whole place. It's that big. And the creek runs through the whole thing, which feeds all the lakes. And so you got to cross the creek back and forth, which makes it seem like a lot bigger than it is. It's a really cool setup. And so then I got to come home and explain to my wife that I didn't get your dream home, but I got us a ranch house and 400 acres, you know?
What'd she say?
And it's a rough couple of weeks, you know, because her dreams were going away. But, you know, as more news came out, you know, one of my close friends is an inside man, I guess we'll call it, right?
Okay.
And so he started sending me stuff, and I'd show it to her. It's like, hey, he's saying that this is what we need to be prepared for. And he's been a friend of ours for 5 or 6 years and never been wrong, because he's an inside guy. And so it's like, here's what we need to be prepared for. And so, he's like, you made the right move, because guess what? If you'd have bought this house in the middle of the city for $5 million and you'd have spent your last damn dime trying to get this thing out of everything to have this dream home, because that's how it works, right?
Yeah.
Biggest investment of your life and everything else. Put a strain on your finances to move into this place. And then if something happens and nobody can get food, your house is going to be the first refrigerator that they're trying to raid, and you ain't going to be able to get out of town versus where we're at now. So, and the next plan is to get, a lot of it's off the grid, but the next plan is to put well water out there, solar panels, so that I don't really need anything.
Yeah, you can literally be gone.
But so I meet this farmer and we do this deal, and then, he's a little bitter about it because he didn't like that I talked him into 0% interest. He felt like he should earn some interest. Yeah. But as he started looking into me and I make a few payments on time and everything else, right? Yeah. And he's like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. So he comes to me and he says, I can go around here and buy ranches from these farmers. You think you got city connections that'll buy them for a premium? So shit, we've sold like almost $9 million worth of ranches this year. Just me and that guy. So I made more money than I have paid this year for my ranch because I know him selling ranches. So it's basically paying for itself. And I got it to throw masterminds out there too. I haven't even had to throw one yet because we got the land gig.
Dude. Sounds like you figured it out, right?
Yeah. So, if a house, you have 5,000 square foot, you might be able to bump it $5 or $10 a square foot, if you're lucky. But if I go get a 2,000 acre ranch and I bump it 5,000 or 6,000 an acre, because we'll go out there, pour a road, develop it, whatever we got to do to make the person happy. Yeah. Like that's a big markup margin,
Huge, dude.
And nobody in Ardmore has money because they're all like poor farmers. Well, not nobody, but the majority of those landowners need the money, right? They're land rich, money poor. Yeah. And so they need the money. Maybe their grandpa handed it down or whatever the case may be. So they don't really have a whole lot into it. So they sell it to me for a couple grand an acre. Somebody in Dallas to get their hands on $5,000 an acre land, $10,000 an acre land, an hour and a half away is a steal. Yeah. Because they don't know Farmer Bob to go get it from in the first place. Yeah. And neither do I, but my farmer does.
Yeah, dude. So, that happened to me when I lived in Belgrade, Montana. You ever heard of Bozeman, Montana?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. So I moved there when I was 18 years old, lived there for 8 years, and that's exactly what was happening right at that time with all the farmland while we were living. Valentine like you?
Yeah. Oh, what's up? I can make a friend. What's up, Valentine?
That's what they were doing. All the farmers were getting rich, and I knew a couple of the farmers. They're like, you're not going to believe I sold all this land. I'm like, wow. So that happened in the town that I lived in, exactly what you're talking about.
And now we got 150 or so head of cattle, Wagyu too, like not any cheap stuff. So I like the good stuff out there. And
you're going to be eating.
We got hogs everywhere. So if I need food, I just need to get the hell out of the city. I always keep a tank of gas or diesel in that truck.
That's got to feel good.
It's a safety net.
It feels like that.
My friend Rob Bailey one time was talking about he has $500,000 in cash and a pilot's license. You can't stop him. If he's got to go, he's got to go, Go. And that's that freedom, It's like, I thought in that book it talks about this too, but I've been telling Amy for forever we needed a residence in a bordering state, because if America goes on lockdown and they lock it down from state to state, I need to be able to say I have property in another state, therefore I need to pass over to where I live, right? And so that allows me to do that. We already have properties in South Carolina. We just sold Arkansas and Florida, but I'm not going to be driving to South Carolina or Florida in the event of emergency, but an hour and a half north to Ardmore, and then actually having proof of ownership over there with the ability to do it. So, man, I've thought this shit through, because I don't know. Hey, better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener at war. I'd rather have a ranch with food, have everything built for me and ready, and the world be peaceful forever. That would be ideal. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it'd just be a fun Chuck E. Cheese for us grown-ups to have a little fun and go hunting and fishing and stuff. Yeah. But in the event that it is a catastrophic thing, I know my family they might say, the only people that survived this war were the people that lived off of the land and knew how to raise that stuff. And my kids and I, we're on it,
It's survival, man. I love it. All right, I'm going to ask you one more question.
Yeah, let's go.
I really enjoyed this, by the way.
Thanks for having me, man. I've had a good time, too.
I've enjoyed you as a human a lot, dude. I like your business mind. You've done some things in business. And if you were running Married Game, my business, and I solve one problem. I teach guys how to get their wives want to have sex with them again. End sexless marriages, create wantability within the marriage again, how would you do it? How would you go about solving that problem if that was the problem you solved?
I would make men examples. That's what we call them. You know, I wrote a book about that. First of all, a man of value. How do we make you a man of value? What is your wife value that would make you valuable to her? Right? Well, let's set those up as your core values that you've got to start enacting and being this person. But like you said, you truly have to be that. So, you know, if I was running your business,
I know it's a selfish question, but I'm curious.
Probably the first thing that I would do is I'd advertise on all the porn sites. You know, if you don't already.
I don't. Garrett's spending a bunch of money figuring that out right now.
Yeah, I have seen some of his ads on Pornhub. So probably a month or so ago, you know, I'll be on the road sometimes, so whatever, right? But yeah, I actually have seen some of his ads on there. So that's a good.
Do you love that fucking honesty? This is the most.
I still like to get laid. I'm just not at home with my wife. I'm not going to cheat on her.
No,
I
can get it.
Do. You know what I mean?
I had a video that says I still whack off every once in a while, and people are like, "You do?" I go, "Yeah, dude. Nobody can handle me like I can handle me."
I'm on fucking not a lot, but I'm on enough testosterone to where if you go without it for a few days, I feel like I might pop.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Like just that vein that you see in my head right now, it might just come out.
You saw his ad?
Yeah, that's how I know he was advertising on there. So, it's about a month ago or so, and it's just classic Garrett. You know, I was this. You know, it was him walking with the phone in a hotel room or something like that.
It was his house.
You know, I probably end up watching that over the damn porn anyway. It's like, oh hey, that's a cool funnel. You know, but smart on his end. You know, because a lot of those guys that have sexless marriages, that's what I was in for the night, a sexless marriage, because we weren't in the same bed, right? So that's what I was leaning on.
You know what they told him?
What?
They said, even if you had $1 billion, you couldn't reach all the people on here.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
They said you couldn't even touch. Okay, go ahead.
We have an Apex member that I'm pretty sure he bought Pornhub 2 years ago, or at least was in talks pretty heavily to get them 2 years ago when they were selling at the height of the pandemic. Something happened and they owed a bunch of money somewhere and they needed it. And our guy, he has the largest affiliate list of porn-related products in the world. He's a Canadian dude, and so him and his affiliates were buying Pornhub out. I'm pretty sure they did.
Jeez.
So, but you're right. Like, he's like, the advertising could never end. He's like, I got all the affiliate offers. We'll make so much money from this. So
it was unreal when he was telling me that. I was like, we'll figure it out, and it's either sell me the leads or show me the game plan. I'll go in myself.
You know, I told Garrett in 2014, he asked me a similar question on his podcast, or maybe it was off the podcast. I don't know if we recorded it or not, but I told him, I said, if I was doing your business, my offer would be, you know, if you don't get your shit together, your wife is going to take half, if not more, of everything you own, and I'm only $5,000.
Yeah.
You know, you have a choice here. That's what his price was at the time. It's like, you know, you can pay $5,000 and get this thing back together, or you can just give half of it away to her and then still not get laid, you know?
Can I tell you something on that?
Yeah.
I got to reflect something on you. So for sports stars, rappers, celebrities that have a bunch of dough, when they want to get an hour of my time, you know what I tell them?
What's that?
I said, it's $100,000. And they go, wow, that's a lot of money. I said, how much are you worth? 20 million? Like, yeah, about that. I said, you're about ready to give up 10. So you sitting down with me and me saving your marriage is going to make you $9.9 million. Do you want to pay the $100,000 or do you not? And they're like, fuck, you're not kidding. So same fucking logic. I feel like I'm heading the right direction. Keep going.
Yeah, because I mean,
it's the truth.
That's the truth.
It is the truth.
And she will leave you. Women are the leading cause of divorce. Like they're the people that leave.
70%. Yeah. They're the ones.
Yeah. Okay. So you know the actual statistic because it's your business, but I know they're the leading cause of divorce. They're the number one lever in the divorce or whatever. So you know, you got a 70% chance that if you don't get your shit together. So if I were you, I would be really stressed, man, because I don't like talking about stuff like this too much. You know, the porn, sex, you know, I'm one of these like, shut the fuck up, Keith, go be a man, you know, kind of a guy, and more than a feelings person for the most part. But having, you know, advertising on Pornhub, I'm sure that you've got your mastermind stuff and everything set up because we all run in the same circles and processes.
Yeah.
So.
Come in for 2 months and then the next step and the whole thing,
You know, do you have a recurring revenue, like a monthly recurring program?
That's kind of how I set the mastermind up.
Okay.
Yeah, we go from married game into life game. It's like now that you've got your dick wet and that's situated.
Like 75 hard to live hard, right? Like
something like that, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because That's been a big game changer for me. I came out here to Frank Kern's house in 2016, and he's like, Stewman, I've got the Holy Grail here. You know how Frank is. Like, I got the I did all since 2002 of me being in the game until right now, I've missed out on whatever dollar amount it was because I didn't create a monthly recurring revenue model and stick with it. If you'll just do it, follow this and stick with it. So here it is. I've stuck with it since 2016.
Really?
Right. Okay. And I messaged Frank the other day, and I was like, do you have a monthly recurring thing still? And he's like, no. I was like, that's cost you over $32 million because that's what it's been able to make me since you've been able to point that my way. Just in that low ticket recurring revenue thing.
What is that per month?
Right now it's $269. So
what is that? Like,
that's our Apex program. So I run a mastermind that has about 3,000 people.
However you share whatever you want about what you want, free reign.
You would probably do better to maybe take some stuff from this, but I run a mastermind called Apex, and we've got close to 3,000 members, and we have 3 different levels that are in the Apex. We have the Entourage, which is just the network. Basically, get our online academy and trainings and all that stuff, and we tailor make that for everybody. So we have this huge library. I've been doing this for a long time with thousands of videos. So our intake call, we're like, what do you want to learn about? What are you most interested in? Boom, boom, boom. We put together a game plan for you, right? And then we have a customer service person call you. We call them account managers that calls you every 90 days, make sure you're on track, right?
Got it.
Then we got another level.
What's the stick rate on that? Do they stay for longer than 3 or 4 months, or do they churn out? Or
shit, man! I got a lot of people been in there for 3 or 4 years. Most people don't leave.
Oh hell yeah!
I mean, we call it family of choice. Like I use long-term language, but I want people to ride with us. I'm not going to stop growing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop getting new information and stop hanging with people like you that are awesome and stop. I'm not going to stop growing. Yeah. So you might as well just hang on with me because we're all going to go there together.
That's
you know.
Brilliant.
And what I'm doing is I'm creating a bunch of other Ryans.
Yeah.
These people there's a lot of my clients that way make more money than I have. A bunch of them, 9 and 10 figure. Several of them in the last year have made high 8 and low 9 figure exits. We're talking $150 million, $80 million like cash in their pocket. Not none of this other jackass shit you hear on the internet. These are roofers, plumbers, carpenters, like real businesses. Somebody buys their shit for $100 million. It's cash in the bank from a private equity company, you know. And so like these are the kind of people that are in there. We call them the blue collar ballers. You know, that's really
They're real, dude.
And we got realtors and a little bit of everything, fit pros and stuff. But it's my kind of people, you know. And it's mostly dudes. You know, it's 70% men. And so the level 2, you get all that plus quarterly meetups and then weekly online Zooms, or twice a month online Zooms. And we got a third level, which is our executives. And we do a once a month meeting with them once every 6 weeks in our office.
A couple guys in there. Ron Sell.
Well, that's where Trevor and Kel are in there. Ron Sell is in entrepreneurs, I believe. Ron's been with me for 4 or 5 years.
He's such
I got to tell you a story about this, right?
Please.
This is fucking hilarious.
Is it about Ron?
Yes.
Okay.
This is like one of the, like, I had some wild stories in my life.
Ron, listen up.
Ron knows this story very well, right?
Yeah.
And like, this is a wild story. So, I get an opportunity. This guy out of Florida calls me and he goes, hey, I got a private jet. And if you want to put people on it, if you'll pay me $13,000 for the jet, and I'll get you into Sandals Resort, and if you'll pay me $13,000 for the day, I'll fly you over there and I'll get you at Sandals. You can set up a mastermind. The jet holds 6 people. You can sell it for whatever the hell that you want. So I sold Ron Sell, Thomas Keenan, Mark Jensen, and Brandy Whitmer, the tickets.
Mark Jennison?
Yeah.
Oh, he's been on the podcast.
He met all you guys through me. I sent him y'all's way.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark's maybe first 100 clients I ever had. So
really?
Mark was a car salesman trainer, and I told him, he would tell you this too, I told him, fuck that shit, go help people get sober, and now he's rich as shit because he's been helping people get sober.
He's such a good dude, man.
That was probably 2013 or 14.
Such a good dude.
No, that was 2015 or 16.
Have you met his wife, Kendra?
Yes. They went to Mexico with us a year ago.
They are such great human beings. Okay, keep going.
And so we fly, we get in this private jet. Now, you know, back then this was maybe the second time. No, so I went the first time, and the second time is the people that I just told you, right? So the first time I went to the Bahamas at work, we had a great mastermind, came back, was awesome, flew home commercial, which was weird, but whatever, right?
Yeah.
The second time through another, Mile High mastermind with these people, we go to the Bahamas, we come back, and as soon as we get to the airport, like we land, and we're in Wakeland, Florida, which is like a country suburb of Tampa. Okay. And we land, and I remember I've been to this place before, this whole routine, right?
Yeah,
This is my
yeah.
second time, so I'm familiar with this shit. And outside the customs office, because you got to go check in at customs still, even when you fly private.
Yeah.
Outside the customs office, there's like every acronym letter and even some shit I don't know, right?
Oh,
There's
shit.
like DHS. I don't know what the hell that was
Yeah.
when I was there. And then there was the ATF, the FBI, the sheriffs. And I'm like, damn, what they had going on here?
Oh, my God.
Like,
It's a
that's
party.
what I'm saying. That's fucking crazy, man. What did we miss, right? And I'm looking around. There's, you can only see so far out of a jet window.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's no other jets on the runway or whatever. They're sitting there with
shit.
dogs and shit. And then I was like, that's probably not where we're stopping. And as we start getting closer to it, I'm going, oh, fuck, man. I hope they're not here for me. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck, we're pulling right up to them. They're walking over here. Shit. And then the co-pilot gets out and unlocks the hatch, right, and drops the door. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe they just come to check out. Because, when you come, I've flown private from other countries several times.
Yeah.
And sometimes the custom dude walks on with one of those radiation boxes and he walks back off,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, that's maybe what they're going to do. And they're like, which one of you guys is Ryan Stewman? I'm like, fuck me, man. Fuck me, right? So I get up and I walk off the plane. He's like, get your bags. So I grab my bags, right? Walk off the plane. They're holding everybody else. They put me in this little holding tank over there. And the guy sits me down, and this is what he says. And now, I've been sitting in here sweating bullets for a minute because I don't know what the fuck. I don't got weed on me or nothing. I haven't done anything illegal. I'm as clean as a whistle. I don't even have a joint in my pocket, man. I'm like clean as a whistle. And I'm like, what the fuck, right? And he sits down and he goes, oh, by the way, when we left the Bahamas, Ron Sell, I left out an important detail. Ron Sell, on that second trip, decided to stay. He called his wife, who's his wife now.
Yeah.
He called his wife, and she flew commercial over there to him, and he just stayed in that thing. So when we come back across the ocean and show up, Ron's not in the jet with us. Okay?
shit.
So they put me in this room, and I see him outside. They come in there, and they're like, Mr. Stewman, first of all, we have a suspicion that you've been running guns into the Bahamas. I'm like, the fuck you mean running guns into the Bahamas, right? Yeah. There's a guy, Andrew Ammons, with us too. Yeah. Andrew's got a license to manufacture a machine gun or some shit like that. Turns out the chick that's with us, this lesbian chick who's been a client for 10 years, great lady, right? But she's always real quiet. She's a cool chick. She's traveled all over the country with me. And then turns out she's like a fucking backup sniper for the fucking CIA or some shit like that. I had no idea, right? Then we got everybody's got everybody there has some sort of firearms type of shit except for me and Mark Jennison, who are felons.
Oh my God, dude.
So they pull me and Mark back in this fucking thing in separate deals. They're asking me tons of questions. They say, hey, man, we think you've been running guns, and we know Ron Sale was the only person who doesn't have a felony or a firearms license, and he's not on your jet. What happened to Ron? And I'm like, fuck, well, let me call him. Shit, right? Like, they thought we killed Ron. Dude. They thought that we did some kind of gun deal with the fucking Bahamians, and Ron snitched us out or some shit, and we just fucking killed Ron, and he was MIA. And they were all there for it. Bro, I'm talking about they were like, got you. They were for sure, this guy's getting a life sentence. They were not fucking playing. Dude, it was just crazy as shit.
Oh my God.
Ever. And then all of this gets funny at this part. The pilot is Mexican, okay? And so he thinks that this is some racial profiling because he wasn't in the room and I didn't tell him that I was a felon. I don't know any of this shit's going to happen, right?
Of course.
So he just assumes since he's a Mexican airplane owner, they're fucking racist, right? And he's like reading them the fucking right, you fucking bolillos and pinche chica tu madre and all this shit, right? Just fucking going off on him. And they're fucking telling him, we're going to pull the nose off your fucking airplane and search for drugs. And he's like, the fuck you are? And I'm sitting on the jet, right? And I'm like, because we still got to go to 10X event in Miami with Cardone. Me and Jennison are sitting on the fucking jet. We still got to fly in that same fucking jet from Tampa to fucking Miami. And so we're sitting in there and this dude's yelling at the cops. He told us we were free to go, but he did not tell the pilot that yet. And the pilot goes, fuck you guys, and shuts the fucking door and turns the fucking jets on. I don't know how to get out of a locked fucking airplane, right? Me and Mark are just like, oh shit. When we landed in Fort Lauderdale, I called an Uber halfway in the sky so that motherfucker was there in case I needed to get out of there.
Here.
That dude yelling at the cops, slammed the fucking jet door like a mad woman that got her purse, fucking left, bro. Fucking. All because they thought we killed Ron.
The stories in the man cave. That's fucking hilarious.
Fucking Ron.
Because he didn't show up.
Yeah, he just wanted to stay there with his wife. Ron's a happily married guy,
He's
and he
a
just
happily
wanted
married guy, dude.
He said, "Dan, this place is so cool. I'm just gonna call my wife and tell her to come over and hang out for a couple of days."
Oh my God, dude, that's so fucking funny. Dude,
that sounds like a highly unlikely fucking story with my background and what we were doing. He's like, well, you were just there a month ago, so that deal had to have worked out. I was like, no. There's no deals. We're going to a resort.
Dude, oh my God. I got to ask Mark about that. That's so
He will remember vividly.
Dude, man, that flying private is a different life.
I like it. We flew JSX here. I like them a lot. I don't know if you've used them.
No.
I use them. They go from Dallas to New York, Miami, Scottsdale, Vegas, and here in LA. So shit, and it's about $1,000 a flight. You and 20 people sit.
Oh, dude. Well, my buddy, do you know who Dan Martell is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Dan. He's one of my mentors. I'm in his program.
Okay, you are.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm in SAS Academy.
So he just bought a plane recently.
Yeah, he called me and asked me the other day. He asked me how to get. He's like, I see you fly private all the time, how do you afford to do that? And I gave him the breakdown of how I do it. And he's like, oh, dude, that's fucking brilliant. So I'm going to his event next month, actually.
Oh, cool. Where at?
Scottsdale.
Okay, perfect. Well, he was here. Dan's like, I have 4 horsemen. They're like my 4 best friends on planet Earth. And I said, we're going to be best friends till we're 88. That's it.
He's a good one.
Well, he's the best. He's the best. I met him like 8 years ago at a Brendan Burchard event. You ever done anything with Brendan Burchard?
I know who he is. But.
And anyway, he goes, I got this jet. I go, I've never flown private. He goes, dude, I'm going to Vegas. You want to come in? So my first time ever doing it was in his.
Yeah,
and
it's
it was
a good
just
person to fly with.
It was the funnest thing ever, and it was the bumpiest shit ever. And I thought we were gonna die. And his buddy, who's also co-owns it with him, is the pilot. And I'm like, but he's one of us. If I wouldn't jump in a plane if you were flying it.
Yeah,
I
understand.
I love you.
I wouldn't jump in if you were flying either. Yeah.
For
I want
for
somebody
sure.
that's old as shit, been flying for 20 years.
Yeah, flew commercial. Yep. These are no problem.
Yep.
And dude, it's bouncy as shit. And I go, are you afraid of dying at all? Because I was. I was like, fuck, dude.
You're like, I got shit to live for. I want to go home and fuck Jesse.
Yeah. And I got a daughter, dude. I got 4 kids. I'm like, fuck. And he goes like this. He goes, we're all a raindrop returning back to the ocean, man. Like, fuck
That's
you.
not what I wanted to hear.
Fuck you,
I wanted to
dude.
hear that you got it under control and we're totally safe.
He goes, it's all good, bro. Ever since he did the 5-MeO, the God drug, he go and I go, well, what about Jovi? He goes, do you have any fucked up shit going on in your life? I go, lots. He goes, did it make you stronger? I go, yeah. He goes, she'll be stronger. I'm like, bro, you are not a comforting soul at all, dude. I'm a raindrop, and my daughter's going to be fine if I die. Fuck you, Dad. No, sharpest guy on planet
dude,
Earth.
I'm a student in his program right now.
Yeah.
So, 10-10
So am I. I just have his coaching calls turn at the exact same time we do our coaching calls.
I don't make the calls, but I do the coaching with their coach that they have.
Yeah.
I have a person.
Oh, are
that
you
I
in
meet
SAS
every
Academy?
Yeah, I'm in SAS
Oh,
Academy.
okay, got it. Yeah, I just did his personal one that was based off this book.
No, I'm trying to grow phone sites.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, Dan helps people exit. That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh yeah,
so.
yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, he's going to be down in town. Here, you're not in town. You don't live here. Yeah. Anyway.
So
okay.
in 2016, 2017 was my first time to fly private. I wanted to go to the Berkshire Hathaway meeting. I'm not anymore, but I was a shareholder then, and I've sold it since then. And none of the commercial flights were going there, and I didn't want to drive from Texas to Nebraska. So I ran a competition on Facebook. I said, everybody sign up. Apex is costing, at that time I think it was still Break Free Academy, but costs $3,000 for life, and I'm going to pick 4 of you to go to the Berkshire Hathaway event with me. So all these people signed me like $30,000. Cost me $12,000 to fly there and back. I was like, that was cool.
Yeah.
And a couple of the people in the plane ride there, they leveled up to the next level because they're like, yeah, man, I need to do this, that, and the other. So I was able to sell them. So I probably made $30,000-$40,000 from going there, right?
Wow.
So then, like when 2020 happened, I was in an airplane, midair, and I needed to get high, right? I was just like, man, I've been in a long flight, and I don't remember where I was coming from, but it had been a long day. And I go in the bathroom in the plane, and I hit the vape, and like the regular vape, like you get in the convenience store, like a Juul, and I blow it out, test the smoke detector, nothing happens, so I grab this weed vape. Yeah. The fucking alarm on the plane goes off, right? The fire alarm. I got to run the fuck out of there. And I have to make a decision. This is what happens like in all reality. In real time, this is what happened. I blow this shit out. that thing starts making immediate noise. There's signs everywhere that says that's against the federal law, right? I'm a federal fucking felon. I got to make a split second, quick, midair fucking. I kick the door open and run out, go, there's smoke. I think it's on fire. And I fucking sat down in my seat and dropped the weed pen in between the fucking seats. Right? They're in there with a fire extinguisher, bro, fucking trying to figure out what's going wrong. They're like, do you have cigarettes? Have you been smoking? I was like, I don't have shit, man. Check me, dude. I don't know what the fuck is going on in there. They're all freaking out. Everybody in the plane starts worrying that the plane's on fire, so they're all freaking out, except for me. I knew we were fucking be all right. I wasn't worried at all. I wasn't worried at all.
Damn, dude, that's fucking hilarious.
When that happened, I think I was leaving Andy Frisella's house when that happened. Whatever the case, when that happened, I never stepped foot back because I was scared they were going to tell me I couldn't fly. So I still got to fly once a week, you know? And so I start asking people, hey, I'm speaking at Keith's event in California. It's a 2-day event. It's going to have, Ed Milet and blah, blah, blah speak. And if you want tickets, you can pay $6,000. Fly with me. We'll mastermind in the sky. I'll give you VIP tickets to the event. I worked that out as part of my speaking fee with the people at the event. And so, I figured out how to, if I needed 6 people, rent a Citation. If I got 10 people to go, I could rent a Gulfstream and figure out. And because of that, I started learning how to fly too. Not in the sense of sitting in the pilot seat, but how some of the buttons work and what they dial to make you go up and down and how this, and I'll be asking questions like, I understand why the jet shakes now. It's because clouds are heavier than air. So it's like you're running through a water puddle, just like when your car does that. So, so then it just made me calmer. Now I understand everything, but it's been 3 years, and I have flown JSX a few times this year because it's just convenient, and I don't have to go through all the hassle of putting everything together. Yeah. And it's a private jet too. There's no TSA. You just walk right on and get on the jet, and you share it with 20 other people. It's not much different than what I'm doing anyway. Yeah. And it's been a game changer for me because I can go somewhere, and I can show up the same day, speak, and then go home. A lot of times. Yeah,
Dan's the biggest believer in about buying his time back with the flight and everything.
Well, he's up in Canada, and which is great. So he's kind of out of and you here in California are out. If you have to do a deal in Florida, man, that's a $90,000-$100,000 flight round trip. If you stay in 2 or 3 days, it might be $150,000 trip. Fly from here to Miami, depending on what jet you're in, but it's going to be expensive. And because you're talking 5 hours to get across the country in a light to mid. Yeah. So I mean that both ways, 10 hours at $6,000. That's a $60,000 just in gas. So anyway, but the beautiful thing about living in Dallas is everything's an hour or 2 away.
Yeah, it is.
So I can fly in somewhere and then be home late that night, but still be in my bed. His fiance and my wife appreciate that because we're usually home the same night. This week it's not like that because we're doing the whole circuit, but usually that's the whole point. Is we may leave at 3 in the afternoon and wind up speaking in California or Scottsdale, and it's 3 p.m. their time, and we left at 3 p.m. our time. By the time we land there, it's 3 p.m. their time. I speak at 5 and go home. I'm home by 10 o'clock at night.
You're dialed. I'm going to do something special that we've only done it. I've only done this once with Dan when he was here. So don't move.
Okay.
I've got something for you.
Well, anything you did good for Dan, it's got to be good.
Yeah, it's good, and it's this black hammer. And what this black hammer represents, I give it to my guys. I have a little thing called the Ascend Brotherhood, and it's not really a mastermind. It's just we come and we have a good time, and they're great guys. But I took these hammers, and we sanded them down, made them all pretty, and made them black. For one thing, they represent something. We don't run from our darkness; we build from it. And I was telling people I'm going to have Ryan Stewman on the show, and some people knew who you were, some people didn't know who you were. And I said, the thing I love about this guy is he took what everybody else would have made an excuse. And it's his life story, going to prison, going to stuff. I love it so much, and so I wanted to give you this black hammer. And I was listening. Is he flying private or is he flying commercial? If you're flying JSX, you can take this on there.
Maybe.
I think. If not, we can mail it to you.
Cool.
But I wanted to give this to you as just as a thank you for stepping up and being who you are, man. I think it's really fucking cool that you've taken all the dark from your past and said, hey, fuck that. I'm moving forward. So on behalf of the Man Cave, myself, I'd like to give you that black hammer. And doesn't that feel good?
Thank you, man. This reminds me, when I was an electrician, there were these East Wing hammers.
That is what that is.
Okay.
That's an X-wing hammer.
A real blue collar baller. He just handed me the hammer, and I knew what the brand was. That's a man that's worked with his hands before that gives you that kind of expertise.
That's my old hammer as a carpenter, right there. That one right there.
Yeah.
That I used to build with when I was a carpenter back.
We used the ones with metal and rubber grips because we were electricians. But, same setup. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's what this is.
That's what
Thank
exactly
you very
what it is,
much, man.
Yeah. Well, you exemplified. So did Dan. You guys have a very similar background. That's why I gave him that one when he came to the man cave as well. So I appreciate you being on, man. Thank you. Is there any closing words that you want to say or anything you want to tell them where to find you, anything you're excited about? Feel free to share, man.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I'm at Hardcore Closer on Instagram, Facebook. I'm Ryan Stewman, the one with the blue check. The rest of them are imposters. And man, if your audience would just engage with me, like my stuff, comment. If I say something that's cool, if I say something that inspires you, share my stories. That's all I ask anybody. If a lot of people, they read something, they're like, man, that's good content that Keith put out there, and then they keep moving with it. Like what we do as creators is we need you to share that. So that's all I ever ask. Follow me on social media. I put out good stuff. I don't talk a lot of shit. It's not a big flashy money game with me over there, man. I'm just out there trying to give value to people because I believe it's my job to create examples. That's what I'm doing, and the only way that I can create examples, Keith, is by being one. Yeah. I am an example of what's possible no matter where you come from, and that's what I'm trying to do is just, you've been divorced, you've been to prison, you've been adopted, you've been on drugs, you made bad decisions, blah, blah, blah. You've had a bad month in entrepreneurism. Let's go. It don't matter. I'm showing you it's possible on the other side.
Amen, dude. I love it, man. Well, thanks for having it. Guys, you know the routine, man. Don't be a nerd. Spread the word.
Always with the rhymes.
Don't be a nerd. Spread the word. Don't be a turd. Spread the word. Share this with anybody that you find valuable, that you think, hey, man, this really lifted me up. This excited me. This inspired us. Also, let us know about it because we love hearing that. And remember, as always, keep crushing it. That shit's contagious.